my regular. I'm talking things for better now. Oh, things for better now. Oh, way better. Oh, this is my regular. I'm talking things for better now. Oh, this is my regular. I'm talking things for better now. Oh, things for better now. Oh, way better. Oh, this is my regular. I'm talking things for better now. Oh, things for better
I Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. Wait a minute, somebody done called me. Who called me, y'all? Oh, that's my door. You call me? Hey, Trey and D True, y'all talk for a minute while I see what my daughter wants.
Trey, you here? Trey, are you awake?
What's up?
Why you do that to that lady?
Why I do what?
Why you get her all in her feelings and now she's screaming and yelling about the FBI and shit?
What happened?
I don't know. She said she's gonna go pick up Mike and bring him to the FBI.
What about her? Did she? If I ain't do nothing no different than her, why didn't she get the FBI involved instead of driving around Belle Isle hollering and screaming?
I don't know.
Say it again, baby. She said, "Hey, Pennywise, it's baby Pennywise."
Good morning.
My baby doll.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, big girl Patty.
Hey, Pennywise.
How are you this morning? You doing good?
Yes,
Did,
Pennywise.
Did Daddy eat your chips again?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. You got your chips.
Oh, well, Pennywise, why are you so nice today? I told you still evil.
Oh, okay. All right. Am I not allowed?
You can't. My dad said you can be nice, but I didn't know. I didn't know.
I'm very nice, especially to you. I'll make sure nobody bothers you. Nobody.
But
Oh,
How? I told you the main one. I told you the evil clown.
I am the evil clown, but I like you, so I'm not gonna be evil to you.
But that don't make sense.
That don't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. I like you, so I'm not gonna be evil to you.
But you could be evil to my dad, cause my dad being mean.
Oh, come on with it.
Oh, okay. I get to be evil to your dad because he's being mean. He's being mean to you.
Dad, you have to be nice.
So you gonna put Pennywise on me?
Dad, you have to be nice.
Yeah, you better be nice. You don't want the evil clown. I'm in closets, under floors.
You hear Truth laughing?
Daddy, you know I'll tell Pennywise to do it.
Yep.
You gotta be nice.
Grayson.
You know, I got a lot of bosses. Now I got another one. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Well, you know what? My boss is on here. Truth hurts. So if you can't get in touch with me, which you can, all you got to do is whisper into the closet, and I'll hear you.
Tell me your boots ain't your favorite color.
Pink.
No, but you tell me you the other one. They're not my favorite color. Like you don't want them.
I hate yellow.
They not yellow. They blue and yellow and white.
But white's not my favorite color either.
So you don't want the boots?
Well, I really want to jump in what you put jump with the water, but no, yeah.
Anyway,
no, yellow. No,
tell
yellow.
the people bye.
Oh, hello.
Bye.
I didn't done talking to Pennywise.
Okay. Hey, E. Brooks said that it is okay for you to tell me to be mean to your daddy.
You can tell them bye now.
That's what E. Brooks said.
Bye, Pennywise.
Bye.
Bye, Grayson. Troy he got to come, but anybody will get ready. He got to come. Oh my goodness. Hey y'all. Hey The Truth. Hey Trey. Hey Chat. How y'all doing? Ain't that a nice intro? Talking to Grayson.
She should come on every morning when we first start.
She should. She got everybody smiling.
See how happy the people are. People ain't happy. They ain't happy when we come on. They happy when she come on, but not us.
Right. Come here. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link for anybody that has knowledge and want to help do commentary on this here trial we're about to cover. All right, I'm gonna drop the link because, of course, this is America Speaks over here.
You may not like what I got to say. I beat you though.
Okay, well, that goes for good commentary. I just want y'all to know I apologize for being so late with this. I woke up this morning, The Truth, I was not feeling good at all. Actually, I thought I wasn't gonna go live at all. I was not feeling good.
Actually, you were actually earlier than you normally are. But
well,
okay. I'm just saying.
I didn't even think I was gonna make it online today. I was feeling bad, but God is good. I feel better, much better.
Me either.
So, you wasn't.
No.
You probably tired. You probably just over. You just probably exhausted. You do a lot.
I actually slept an extra half hour. That's not like me.
Not half hour. Oh, Lord. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get into it, okay? Because we're gonna cover this trial. We're starting a new trial today, and I'm gonna play a little short video. I'm good, James. God is good. I feel much better. I feel much better. We're gonna start a new trial today, y'all. It's the trial of Quanisha Johnson. It's, whether or not she committed homicide or self defense. She's charged with the death of her boyfriend. And yeah, so we're gonna watch a short video to give us a little synopsis, I hope, of what's going on, and then we're gonna get right into the because this trial just started. See, I needed to start with the trial that just started. You know what I'm saying? So I won't have to do catch up. And so, yeah, I'm glad I caught this one. This is a good one. I appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Thank y'all so much. This channel, I have not been on for a minute, but I'm slowly but surely trying to get back to a routine. And I appreciate y'all for being patient with me, especially those like Fun that absolutely loves my crime and justice channels. She absolutely does. And I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you all that support these channels, okay? Make sure you hit the like button, get this channel back in the algorithm. Okay, feel free to support the channel. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. I appreciate Trey and D Truth being on the panel. Anybody else want to come on the panel? Let us know. Mods, grab the StreamYard link. Thank you, D Truth has already dropped it. Shout out to my mods in the building. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's listen to this. And this is Court TV. I absolutely love Court TV. I absolutely love Law and what is it? I think it's Law and Justice, something like that. That other channel, I can't think of the name, but I love that one too. But this is Court TV, so I'm only gonna play the audio, and let's get into it, y'all. Let's jump right into it, okay? This is one of my mods. Please go grab Court TV's link and put it in the chat for me if you don't mind. The name of this video is Quanisha Johnson claims self-defense in shooting. All right, so let's listen. The Truth, Trey, y'all can stop me at any time if you want to throw something in. Hey, Daily, good morning. Y'all come on in. Hey, Miss Gloria. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate it.
Was it self-defense or murder? Mother of four, Quanisha Johnson claims that self-defense is the reason that she shot her boyfriend, DeMonte Smith, to death last November following a domestic dispute. Police responded to her 911 calls, but the shooting happened after they left her house. Joining us now, Court TV legal correspondent Julia J. outside the courthouse in Decatur, Georgia. Boy, entertaining and interesting first day. Both sides did much different stories here. The case seems to hang on this body camera video. And of course, at the end of the day, it's going to hang on the defendant, who we expect to take the stand. But let's talk about what we've seen so far, what the jury's seen so far. What's your take? What did you see from those jurors as they watched that body camera video?
Ted, this jury is engrossed. They are leaning in, trying so hard to hear some of those hard to hear moments on the body camera. You can hear some of what these parties are saying during that body camera being played, but there are moments when the sound kind of drops. You can't really hear what's being said. And there was even a moment where the prosecution had to play one part over again, but it's a key part. It's when the defendant, Quanisha Johnson, tells police, if I were to shoot him in self-defense, then what? If I have to defend myself, if I have a license to carry and I have a weapon, what happens then? And the officer says, you'll just need to be able to articulate your position. This is as they are walking away. I looked over at those jurors. They look a bit incredulous that this is how the investigation of this domestic dispute unfolded. There was even a moment where one woman,
can you stop it
she
right
seemed
there?
to have her.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, remember his key words to her is articulate.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be very, very specific, and you need to say things in the right order, and you better know exactly what you're talking about. You can't change your story. You can't add to the story. You better know exactly what you're going to say when you say it. And the fact that she asked him was ridiculous.
Yeah, because let's get into it. Let's talk, y'all. Let's talk. This is gonna be a good one, okay? And it's gonna be a lot of commentary on it because let's just be clear. When there's a domestic, I don't know. Did I say domestic? Yeah, domestic, whatever. Domestic violence situation. They don't. The situation doesn't end when the cops leave. Like if no one, even if someone is arrested, you know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, she was arrested or he was arrested, the situation doesn't end once the cops leave. Like, to me, honestly, I wouldn't ask the question. Well, I wouldn't ask the question because it would have sounded like, that's what you intended to do. But this woman probably knew that once they left, that the situation wasn't over. You feel me? And that maybe she was gonna have to defend herself again once they leave. I don't know if he was arrested. I don't know if anybody was arrested after the cops came. But if the cops left and they we gotta let
Okay, but according to
me say this though, the truth, and I gotta let my people know the reason why I don't have a whole lot of background on this case, because when I googled it, there were not any. I mean, the only thing that showed up was the court hearing that's going on now. Like, I didn't see any other, and maybe I missed it. I don't know. But go ahead.
I'm getting mixed stories though, because there's a police cam of the victim coming out after being hit in the head and shot. And the police said they saw her go to the car, get a tire iron and the gun, and then go back in the house.
The police watched that?
They were there. They were outside the house. They heard the gunshot.
Wow.
He came running out of the house.
Never left when this happened.
Huh?
The police were there when it
They,
actually.
I guess they were in the, because the police just don't leave. They have to do other things. They have to log out. They have to register that they're leaving. They have to say nothing. Nobody. Huh?
Do some paperwork, maybe.
They're just logging in the computer to say, look, no, nobody arrested. We're exiting scene, and they're so that they go back into the system as releasing from that scene. So
Right.
whatever they saw wasn't enough to arrest anybody, because the main thing that the police are behind in a lot of things, and what they get in trouble for, is not assessing the situation for the danger of whether for him or her. They need to assess the situation, because before the police leave, when it comes to domestic violence, they always say, "Ma'am, is there somewhere you could go? Is there somewhere you need us to take
Yeah,
you?"
they try to separate the
Yes.
two.
Is there some? Is there? Do we need? Are you? Do you? And one of the things, do you feel safe going back in that home?
Right.
And if they don't do these things, and something was to happen to her, they're liable.
Right.
Now, I don't know. They should have asked him that too, when she said, "I'm licensed to carry," and then she's got a tire iron, because she popped his ass in the head and shot him. And he came out to the cop and said, "She hit me in the head and shot me. Help me before I die."
Wow.
So okay, in order, when he said you have to articulate, she had to say, okay, the police were there. That's one of the problems. She could have said, "I don't feel safe in there." And then they would have tried to make arrangements for her. Okay, well, is there somewhere you could go? Is there somewhere we need to take you? Is there a family member? So she didn't, I guess, articulate to them that she felt like she was in danger. I believe she was fed up, because he is the father of her children. So I think she was fed up and tired of him hitting on her.
So Miss Tina said, "Hey Miss Tina, I love when the chat knows what we're talking about." So Miss Tina said, "I remember this story. He was also dealing with another girl."
Yeah, I haven't found that yet.
Yeah.
So I haven't found that.
All right. So let's continue to listen to this short video, and it's basically them talking about the first day of the trial, which began a couple days ago. But it's going to give you a synopsis of what's going on.
brow really furrowed and really concerned when the officers, or what the prosecution characterized what the officers did, saying that they told these two to go inside the home to cool off, that was their solution to this situation. So I'm feeling a bit of concern about how this was handled from these jurors, but overall they are taking in the state and defense opening statements. Take a listen to how those two sides described what happened that day.
No, I'm not going to listen to that part because we are going to listen to the full statements. So that's a short.
So remember what I didn't know. I didn't hear this part. I didn't know this part was coming. Remember how I said they're supposed to assess the situation, and neither person, the police have to feel that neither person is in danger to go back in that house, and they feel that the police did not assess the situation correctly. But a lot of times when the man is shot, the police never suspect that the man is in danger. They usually are more looking at the woman. Oh, because if you have a bruise on you, there's no question they're going to take
somebody in.
Yes, they're taking some. If there's a bruise on her, if her face is, looks like she's been slapped or punched in the eye, or she got a bloody lip or bloody nose, or she's got scratches around her neck, he's going, regardless of whether she presses charges or not, because the police have the right to arrest you if they.
I don't understand why they sent them back in the house together, even if no one was arrested. I don't. Like tell somebody to leave.
I don't know, but they did not leave the property. They heard the shot, and
I'm not talking about the cops. I'm talking about the Quenisha and the boyfriend. Like, I don't understand why they didn't separate them. Like, even if they didn't make an arrest, why they didn't tell one of them to leave the home? Like, make one of them leave the home.
Well, because unless you're violent unless the two of you are swinging at each other or screaming at each other at the top of the lung, and they hear shit like, you know what, I'm gonna fuck you up. The cops aren't going to do anything. But one thing I did notice, and I don't know if I should say it, but he said something to her in front of the cops.
Okay. Well, yeah, don't say it.
Okay, I won't say it.
We're gonna. All right. So right now we're gonna listen to the self-defense. This is also a video on Court TV. Self-defense or murder trial. Okay, and this is the prosecution's opening statement. Okay. This is the prosecutor, and this is his opening statement. And like I say, do you stop me if you need me to stop? Let's go.
To you, Agent Gold. Let's see if we can listen in on, and I'm getting word we might be hearing the opening statement. So I'm going to hold my question to you, Agent Gold. Let's see if we can listen in together live. Do we have those opening statements starting up now? Let's watch.
To 29-year-old DeMonte Smith after she shot him dead. On November 27th, 2022, this defendant went downstairs. She went to her car. She grabbed not one, but two weapons. She grabbed a metal tire rod and a firearm, put the firearm in her pocket. She went upstairs, but before she went upstairs, she told her 7-year-old to call 911. And before she went upstairs, she told her 7-year-old to let the police know that DeMonte hit her. The 911 call is placed, and in the background, you can hear the defendant go upstairs. She hits DeMonte with a metal pipe, and then she shoots him. And while he's screaming in pain, she says, "Bye. Bye." And then a full 30 seconds goes by, and she runs downstairs, and she says, on the 911 call, tell him he just hit me. And what does the 7-year-old do? And you all will get to hear that 911 call in a few moments. That 7-year-old repeats what her mom says. So let's talk about the parties that were in the.
Now, How about I pull up the 911 call? Give me a second.
So the prosecutor is trying to say that now the police were still outside because after he got shot, or maybe I'm reading the thing wrong, because he comes running out of the house to the police. So maybe the police arrive after the 911. Now I believe the police were there prior to this, and they come back again. So I guess we'll find you know we'll find out whether the police
Okay,
were
hold
actually
on.
there.
What? Just let her run, but she was telling herself. Gay, what are you talking about?
She
She
talking about
talk,
he's talking about the mother that she gonna
uh,
you know
so he was shot and ran out of the house. Yeah.
yeah, he was hit in the head with the tire iron and then shot.
I,
According,
I, I'm gonna mute for a second. Did you just
all right,
talk? I bet.
go ahead. So she's claiming self defense, but unless she's claiming he was attacking her at the time that she hit him and shot him, or she's claiming battered woman syndrome because I guess he's made threats and things like that. Battered syndrome is a tough thing to prove. There's a lot of women sitting in prison right now because they claimed battered women syndrome, but they didn't have the evidence to back it up, like police reports, even scar tissue, because they do if you claim battered woman syndrome, they do a complete physical of you to check for previous scars or breaks that were never taken to the hospital. Same thing when they're it's the same thing they do with children that they think may have been abused, but no one you know took them to the hospital. So they're looking for previous breaks that have healed. And you're right, Sweetberry. A lot of women don't. That's why they do this physical, where they're actually X-raying and taking different uh, types of exams to see if there is previous abuse that was never taken to the hospital.
All right, so let's listen to the 911 call real fast, and we'll probably hear it again doing testimony, but let's listen right quick.
Again, County 911, what is the address of the emergency? 796 Eden Berry Lane. Repeat the address. 796 Eden Berry Lane. I think Eden Valley. Eden, Edenberry. And I can really hear you. Edenberry Lane. Okay, D as an Edward, D as an David? Yes. And then D as an Edward? Yes, and then the Nancy, Berry, Berry, B as in Berry, E as in Igloo, RRY as in, I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, Edenberry, correct? Yes, it's also Edenberry Lane, and last one, New Jersey. I'm popping up for us. And you said 796? 79.
It cut off.
I cut it off. I was talking. I didn't realize that I was mute. But listen, I'm gonna let y'all see that. See up on the screen there's some to your left hand side. There's some facts about the case. All right. So I'm not gonna show that while I play, but I'm gonna read from that and let y'all know what it says. Right. So it's like facts from the case. Right. So it says Quenisha Johnson called 911 3 times after receiving threats from her boyfriend Demonte Smith. So apparently there were 3 911 calls. I don't know if they're gonna play them all right now on this, but apparently Sweet Berry, I think that's the
that's the daughter on the
yeah,
phone.
that's the daughter Fun Beer. That's the daughter on the 911 call.
She upstairs fucking him up with that tire iron. What she doing right now? She ain't down there. She told her daughter to call. That's her daughter on the phone right there. Answer the lady's asking her question. What's your name? You know, and she's trying to tell her
the address and things of that nature.
Your address.
Okay, here we go.
Yes. Edenberry. Edenberry. And is it road drive? It's a lane. Elliot is an NPC. Okay, the only Edenberry coming up is drive for Gwinnett, is that right? No, it's in the county. It's also about the road off of Edinburgh Lane. It's a 47. You said off the Rock Chapel Road? Yes, and the close road is Edinburgh Lane. ASCURY, Edinburgh. Edinburgh Way. And then you know, Edenberry Lane, Edenberry Lane or Way? Lane. It's also Edinburgh Lane. Okay. The only thing shown is Edenberry Way and then not with 796. Okay, so Edenberry Way is like right on the corner from Edenberry Lane. We don't have a lane. It's not showing a lane. Is it right on the border? It is. It's a crossroad from Edinburgh Way and Edenberry Lane. So it's like Edenberry Way is another lane, but then Edenberry Lane is one. Okay. If you can just discuss your copy. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but the address is not coming up for us. Okay, so. What is the direct nearest street? Is it Way? It's Edinburgh Way. Okay, that's a house or apartment? It's a house. Okay, and then what's the phone number you're calling from? 724-427-3743. Okay, what's going on in the location? I'm getting, okay, so my boyfriend, he put.
Okay, so they're playing the earlier night.
Into the house. Okay, someone's there.
So they're playing the earlier night.
He is, yes.
You heard me?
D-True, were you saying something?
Yeah, I think they're playing the earlier 911 calls.
Yeah, the one before the daughter call.
Yeah, this is the mother.
Go ahead and talk. I'm on the phone with Mama. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So this is the earlier. So this is one of the 3 911 calls that came from the house. So this isn't the daughter yet. The daughter is the last phone call. So the first 911 call is him threatening her. Supposedly, she, I guess, is accusing him of something, and she stayed out late. And he's been threatening her because she stayed out late the night before. So this is her calling about his threats to beat her up. So then I guess there's a second one because I guess he puts his hands on her and she calls a second time to tell them, look, he's still threatening me. He's going to do this. And I believe that's when they send the police out. And it wasn't until the third call that she shot him. Because I'm looking at some of it right now. Yeah. So he was shot in the chest. So she hit him in the head with the tire iron and then shot him in the chest. Let me look at a couple more of these. Now, some of these are not painting her in a very, very good picture. That's the wrong one. Wrong one. Okay, so I just found one that cleared up a lot of this. So she called the first time because she was receiving text messages and phone calls from the boyfriend threatening her. So it says that she was receiving threatening text messages and uh, phone messages because I guess she wasn't home yet. He was calling her and threatening what he's going to do. So she has those messages. So she gets home and she sets off a burglar alarm because the police were not there yet. So she set off the burglar alarm in hoping that the police would come to the house. It says she eventually flags down a police officer and starts talking to him. Okay, so on the when she flags down the police, both of them get into a verbal altercation in front of the police, but the police feel that it didn't get physical, that they were just arguing. So the police told them both to go back into the house and calm down. That's what the police told them. Please stop, go back in the house and calm down. So the police send them back inside. The police observed her going to the car. I don't believe the police saw her pull out a handgun, but they're saying the police observed her remove her handgun and a tire iron and then head into the house. And they say a few minutes later, that's when they heard the gunshot.
I'm back down. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nitru.
So let me, you know what? I'm going to send this to you. This is actually a good one to play if you want to, if you want people to understand the backstory.
Okay.
All right.
All
It's a TikTok, but it actually breaks down everything prior to, like, if you don't know anything about the case, this actually breaks down everything leading to the court case.
Oh, okay. Send it to.
I just sent it to you just now.
Okay, let's continue to listen to this call right quick, y'all. Well, I guess this one call. I don't know if they're playing more than one call or whatever. But let's continue to listen while I pull this up that D True sent. Oh, why am I hearing it? Hold
You just got out of the cab telling me about the buffalo. How long until you arrive at the location? Like 9 minutes. Did you say there? 9 minutes? 9 minutes later.
So she's not home when she's calling.
I'm gonna fight.
So she's not home when she's calling. This first call was made from her car on the way home. She made this call because of the threats that he made in text messages and phone messages.
This is her, D True?
Yes, this is her driving home. She's calling the police to say, look, he's threatening me. He says he's going to do this to me. He's going to, and I got these messages. I got these phone messages of what he said he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So she's calling the police on her way home. Like she wanted the police to meet her there.
Because he must have. Hold on. She called him back, y'all. Go ahead.
All right. So she's on her way home. She's calling the police because she's worried. That's why she went in the house and set the alarm off, hoping that the police would arrive because she's scared right now that he's going to do what he said he's going to do to her. I don't understand. This should have never gotten this far. Either he should have been removed or she should have been removed. One of them should have been removed. But again, why didn't she articulate to the police that this was happening? Why didn't she tell the police? You should hear the threats he's making. Because if she had showed them the text messages or played the recordings to the police, he would be removed for at least threats. At least removed from the home just based off the threats that she's saying he made. Now, I don't know if it's true or not because I don't see anything where they're showing the text messages from him to her, or if they play the recordings of the messages he left on her phone. I don't know any of that. I don't know if she made it up. It could be true. I'm just saying, if she had said to the police, look at the text messages. Look what he said he's going to do to me. Listen to the recordings. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem. Hey, Jeff. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Go ahead, D2. Go ahead. I'm sorry, y'all. My mom we're trying to get something done with my daughters. We going back and forth, so I'm sorry. Go ahead, D2. Go ahead.
So this is her calling because she's on the way home and she's worried because he's been sending her these text messages. Now,
this is the thing that you got. Ain't that what you're supposed to do? Like,
yes, it is. And
you know what I mean? Let me tell you something. When you involved in a relationship where and I'm pretty sure this ain't the first incident, right? So when you're involved in a situation like that, and you getting these text messages or you getting these phone calls with threats, they're not just threats because you know that this person is gonna follow through with what they say because they've done it before. So, I mean, her calling, and see, I didn't know that. Her calling the cops before she even get home and let them know, look, he's threatening me, da-da-da-da-da. I think that was the right thing to do.
Also, she had the text messages. I don't believe she couldn't have shown the police those text messages because he wouldn't have blown it off as just an argument between two people.
Right.
Those text messages escalate the situation to where he needs to be removed, if not for making terroristic threats or threatening someone with bodily harm. Those are all criminal offenses. You can't say, I'm gonna whoop your ass. We're gonna believe you. Okay, well there you go. You're gonna whoop my ass. Okay, I believe you, so I'm gonna arrest you.
There's a history.
Yeah, I'm gonna believe it without a history. By showing the text messages, that's all the history he needs. As soon as she says, I'm scared, he's gonna do these things to me. There's no reason that the police didn't immediately remove him. They didn't have to arrest him, but they could have removed him from the property.
That's what I said.
And told him, don't come back. If you come back, I'll arrest you for trespassing. I don't care if you live here or not. Again, most people are like, well, they can't kick him out of his own home. They can if you're making threats to someone else.
Yes, they will. They will make somebody leave. Yes, they will.
If you're making threats towards someone in the home, they will remove you. And if you don't have any place to go, they'll be happy to take you downtown and let you sit in the police station for a while. And a lot of times, they won't allow you to come back without a police escort and her acknowledging that she's allowing you back in the house. That relieves the police of any liability.
Right.
If a police officer turns to you and says, ma'am, do you want him in your house? Are you allowing him to come back in the house? Now, They also can assess the situation as she only said yes because she's scared. And he could say, I felt like she only said yes because she's scared. So I'm going to go ahead and flex my authority to remove the person until I am sure that this woman is not scared. Because a lot of times in a woman's mind, she's thinking, damn, if I get him arrested, it's just going to be worse. I might as well just take this little ass whooping instead of getting a big ass whooping later. Sad to say, it happens. And that's why when police are being trained, they're being trained to read in because, again, far too many women are murdered because the police didn't take into consideration that the woman is really scared.
I think a lot of cops, and I'm gonna say this because I've ran into this before. I think, and I'm not gonna say all, I'm not gonna say most, I'm gonna say some. I think some cops become desensitized when it comes to domestic violence. I think they see so much of it. I think they see so much of it, and I think sometimes, because all calls are not the same, right? Like some calls are minute, some calls are serious, and some calls are tragic, right? So I think a lot of times, cops don't realize, even though they think they may realize, I don't think they realize the severity of certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like they. Well, this woman calling the cops before she even gets to her house to me lets me know that she knew something was gonna happen. It was like a cry for help. You know what I'm saying? It was literally a cry for help.
And this happened before.
Some cops definitely not well trained. Right, Ram. I agree. I definitely agree. All right, so let's listen to some more, y'all.
Okay, what's your name? Manisha, USNCE, Johnson. And what do you need an escort for? Are you just trying to gather belongings or? Yeah, I live there. The house that I need, I just see him. He's threatening different, so I just want some people from those purposes. Okay, and what does he look like? He's licensed, he has judge, there's a set on his face, medium built, 5'4". Does he have any weapons? No, I don't know. Okay. Well, somebody get somebody out there. You said you're about 9 minutes? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and put a call in. No problem. I'll put someone in there for you.
Ms. Brown, were police, are you able to say from the CAD transcript?
Okay, so we're gonna that's some of the call, y'all, but actually the 911 operator is testifying and they're about to listen. They asking her questions, so we're gonna skip that because I want y'all to see that because we're gonna watch all of that, y'all. We're gonna watch all the testimony. But that was, I didn't know they were actually gonna question her during the call. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch this what D Truth sent me, and then we're gonna go back to the opening statement. So let me pull up this TikTok.
I'll be play that. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, no problem. All right. So y'all, let's look at this right quick. All right, here we go, y'all. This is a TikTok.
A domestic dispute turned deadly after Quanisha Johnson fired a shot into the chest of her boyfriend, DeMonte Smith. On November 27, 2022, Johnson called the police 3 different times after receiving what she called threatening messages and phone calls from her boyfriend. Once arriving at her home, she also set off a burglar alarm to get police to show up. She eventually flagged down an officer near her home. In front of police and outside of their home, Johnson and Smith engaged in a verbal altercation. Officers then instructed both to go inside, observing no physical abuse. But before returning to her home, Johnson asked an officer what would happen if she shot her boyfriend in self-defense. That officer allegedly responded she would need to be able to articulate her need for using a weapon in self-defense. As the officers leave the scene, Johnson is seen grabbing a tire rod and her handgun. A few minutes later, a gunshot is heard from inside the home. Smith is rushed to the hospital and later dies from his wounds. Johnson now faces several charges, including malice murder, aggravated assault, and child cruelty, since the shot was fired in front of her children. Prosecutors believe there was no imminent threat, and once Johnson grabbed the tire rod and gun, she intended to kill her boyfriend. The defense claims Smith had a history of domestic violence against his girlfriend and that she was attempting to prevent another incident from occurring when she took that weapon for protection after police didn't intervene. The defendant plans to testify and explain her actions in front of the jury in an attempt to prove she acted in self-defense.
Now that was a good synopsis. That's what you call a good synopsis of what is going on. I wish I had played it at the beginning, okay? So that's what we have, y'all. That's the case. That's the case that we're covering. So let's continue. Let's go back to the opening statements of the prosecutor, okay? All right. This is sad. It's really sad. Like any case like this is sad. So that's the courtroom, y'all. That's what we're listening to. I'm not gonna show the audio. I mean, I'm not gonna show the visual while we listen to the audio. But this is the prosecution. This guy right here. He's making his opening statement. Okay.
The house on that day. We have the defendant. We have and then we have the victim, DeMonte Smith, and then they have a shared child who's an infant also inside of the house. $796 Edinburgh Lane, Lithonia, Georgia. It's in DeKalb County. That's a photo of the home. Let's talk about DeMonte. He goes by Dolo. He was 29 years old at the time of his death. He was a father. He was a caretaker, and he was driven. And what I mean by a caretaker is, and it kind of gets me into the following events of November 26th and 27th. He was home all night with the defendant's children, as well as
I don't know why we're going
So let's talk about it. So at some point between November 26th and 27th, late at
I think they're muting when he say certain names or whatever. I'm not for sure, but yeah.
night, the defendant leaves the home and she's out all night. She's clubbing. She's missing for multiple hours, and then she doesn't return to the house till 11 a.m. DeMonte, like I said, is taking care of the 3 children all night by himself and all morning. And at some point in the middle of the night, the defendant reaches out to DeMonte and lets him know that she's been in some sort of physical altercation, or her friends have been in some sort of physical altercation at the club, and that they're going somewhere else, and then her phone dies. And she told him originally, I'll be back at 6 a.m., and she's not. So what does DeMonte do? DeMonte calls her aunts in Philly, Rochelle and Andrea, and he's worried. And the aunts will testify that they were worried. So based on that physical altercation that happened, they all start calling local hospitals. They all start calling local jails to try to find out, where is she? And then, apologize, at 9 a.m., or around 9 a.m., The defendant goes back to her car. She realizes her phone was dead. She plugs it in. She sees messages. She sees calls. So she calls her aunts. And the aunts yell at her, like, where have you been? We've been worried about you. And at that point, they three-way in DeMonte. And DeMonte makes a threat.
Yeah, is that a... Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit because he said something right there. But is that a baby in the courtroom?
Yes, it is.
Only not a lot of children in the courtroom.
Well, I would have already asked them to leave. You can take that baby out in the hallway now.
Oh, wow. I heard this stuff. I've never seen that, but okay. All right, so let's listen now.
And the threat. He says something along the lines of, I'm going to kick your ass. Now.
So he made a threat on a phone call.
With the aunts.
With the aunts. That I'm going to kick your ass. I mean, okay. So, this is before she went home.
Yeah, she's not even anywhere near being home.
Shit, man. And he made a threat to her on the phone with her aunties. That's some bullshit.
And they're going to testify that they were worried. They should have been like, okay, we on our way, motherfucker. They were
worried about her being in the altercation at the club. They definitely should have worried about that. Because he would have got the business for me like you touch her. I mean, honestly. Okay, let's listen.
Now, members of the jury, we're not going to shy away from the threat he made. The defendant heard it. The aunts heard it. I'm assuming you'll hear them testify to it. The detective saw a message. But what I want y'all to pay attention to is the defendant's own statement. Because she made a statement to the police, and you all will get to hear that. And in that statement, she says, oh, I was just joking it off. I was laughing it off. I didn't take it serious. And this is 2 hours before she even shows up to the house. But the evidence is going to show what actually happened is she set her plan into play. She was embarrassed in front of her family when DeMonte made that threat.
Wow.
So it's time to get rid of him.
Wow.
So, right now.
Wow.
Right now, he is setting up a murder one trial. According to the prosecutor, this was premeditated murder.
Do I have another mod in here besides Gabe? Let me know.
I'm watching the chat too.
But this is the thing. How does he put her being embarrassed? This man just threatened her. He's going to put his hands on her, right? So, how do you take him threatening her over the phone with her aunts and say, oh, she was embarrassed because he said that on the phone with her aunts? Embarrassment will be the last thing I would be feeling.
So, but he also said that she makes a statement to the police that she blew it off and laughed about it. Okay, to I guess to say to the jury that she made a joke about it. That she made a joke about it, and that's when he said, but this is when she put her plan into motion.
All right, let's listen.
That's next. She calls 911 3 times on the way home. So you all will get to hear that. And in the first 911 call, she lets the police know of the threat, and she wants an escort home. And the police arrive, but she still hasn't arrived at the location because she's so far away that she calls again. But the police have, at this point, contacted the defendant and said, well, we have another call. Don't go inside of the house. We will come back. Just don't go out inside of the house. So impatiently, she's waiting outside of the house, and she calls 911 2 more times. She says, the only weapon I have that exists in this scenario is mine. I have a gun on me. There are no guns in the house. There are no weapons in the house. and there's no drugs or alcohol involved. Y'all will get to hear that. Then she says, so she gets home, she finally gets there, the officers get there, and it's Officer Hauser Cross and Officer Lamy. You all will get to hear from both of them, and you all will actually get to watch their body camera of the defendant's actions. She gets there.
Okay, I'm gonna show y'all this. All right, I'm gonna show y'all this right quick. So, this is what they're putting up right now as he's speaking. It says defendant's actions. Defendant calls 911 3 times. Defendant says there are no weapons in the house, but that she has a gun on her. Defendant places gun in the car. Defendant antagonizes DeMonte No Fear. Oh, so they said she antagonized him. She antagonized the man that threatened to beat her ass. Okay. Okay.
According to him.
Exactly.
She is told to place the gun in the car. She again reiterates there are no weapons inside of the home. She puts the gun in her car. And then I want you all to pay attention to the body camera, because she repeatedly antagonizes DeMonte when DeMonte comes outside. DeMonte's holding his infant child, and she fearlessly approaches DeMonte and tries to grab the kid. And then, not only that, the entire time, y'all get to hear she says things like, that's not even your baby. That's not even your kid. You're not even on the birth certificate. I'm going to disappear again for 3 hours. What are you going to do then? This is all in front of the police. And y'all will actually get to watch DeMonte. He's calmly standing there. He sits down. There are no threats made on scene. She doesn't show the police any threats. So what did the police do? The police say, cool off. Y'all aren't listening to us. You're not listening to us, to the defendant. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes. Y'all go inside. They do that, and y'all will hear from Officer Lamy and Cross. There are no weapons in the house. So they want to give them some time to cool off, because the defendant is repeatedly talking over them.
The prosecution delivering their opening statement to this jury in the greater Atlanta area of Georgia. The jury will later decide the fate of Quanisha Johnson. Was it murder or was it self-defense? We'll see what happens as these facts progress. We'll continue watching live. Welcome back to Court TV Live. Let's go back to court together. Now we're watching the opening statements in the trial in Georgia that is starting up today. Was it murder? Was it self-defense? We know we've got a homicide on our hands. The question is, was it lawful? Let's watch some more of the prosecution statement now.
And as they're sent home inside, you'll hear the defendant say something. You'll hear her say, well, I'm going to shoot him in self-defense. And then the officer says, well, make sure you articulate that because, and make sure you read the code section. And she says, I've already read it. I already know the self-defense.
All right, so let's talk about what Daly just said. Okay, Tamara, watch the replay, sweetie.
She's not too bright.
Who's not too bright?
The woman.
Oh, yeah. So Daly said, see, that's why you can have your opinion, but you got to listen to this, because this is crazy. Daly said, I believe this was premeditated murder. She used the police to advocate for her defense. She wasn't scared of him at all. Wow.
Okay, so in her defense, she doesn't want him to hold the child. She's worried about what he's going to do to the child. Secondly, she's not going to leave her gun in the car because you just don't do that. Your car gets broken into, they steal your gun. Mm-hmm. So she brings the gun into the house. She's not doing anything that she doesn't normally do. Now, the tire iron, that's a stretch. Okay. But the police are saying that she's the aggressor, that she's the one that's talking loudly, that she's the one that's not listening.
Wow.
He is not. The police are saying he looks calm, but that could be just the prosecutor's interpretation. We
Absolutely.
still have to listen to what the defense lawyer is going to say about those same words written. Because remember, a paragraph is a paragraph and can be interpreted by the person reading it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So he interprets it as aggressively. No, that's not what was said. They're saying she was speaking
Okay, let's go.
over them.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So she was speaking over them. That she wasn't. That neither one of them was listening. By that statement right there, that neither one of you are listening to us, is that he's arguing back to her.
Mm-hmm.
It could have easily been said he didn't say he wasn't.
He's not standing there just listening to
Yeah,
her.
no, he's talking shit too. But
Exactly.
he wants you to believe that that guy's just standing there taking it. No, he's
Mm-hmm.
not. He's talking shit too because he said neither one of you is listening to us.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one, which means he is throwing it right back at her. So both of them are arguing back and forth. Now, on the police side, saying, okay, this looks like this is the way these two act all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way they interact with each other. I don't see any blows. I don't see any fear in her.
Right.
See, fear would be, I'm not saying anything. Fear would be cowering to what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
They're not seeing that. According to the prosecutor, she's laying into him. And they're trying to play like he's just, standing there taking it.
Holding the baby and
Yeah,
taking, not
yeah.
saying anything. Yeah.
Holding the baby as a good father. You know, but again, that's what he's going to interpret it. I want to see what the defense interprets that entire exchange because they're reading it off the police report. Now it's going to if the police come and testify, that's a different story because now you're going to get the policeman's perspective of actually how he felt.
Mm-hmm.
Writing doesn't normally give you the perspective. They can write it and he could read it, but again, if you put the cop on the stand and he says no, she was definitely the aggressor. She was very, very aggressive towards him. I didn't see any fear in her. Then situations could change. But that's the way the prosecutor is writing it up. That they're not seeing any fear in her of him. Well, the 911, Miss Ann said, did she say she was afraid of him? The 911 calls project that she is worried. Correct? By
To
her
me,
call, yeah,
it would, especially the
yeah,
calls that were made before she even got home.
yes. And she asked for an escort. Okay, understand? She asked for an escort. She didn't ask the police to come there for whatever. She asked them for an escort.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for joining.
And the problem with escorts is police will do escorts at their leisure. That's not a priority to do an escort. That's why she escalated it by tripping the alarm in the house to get the police to respond because she said, hey, I need an escort. Okay, ma'am. Well, we're going to get somebody out there as soon as we can, but we have other priorities.
Mm-hmm.
That's the normal answer when they get an escort, unless it's ordered by the court. The police come at their leisure for an escort. Okay, Sweetberry has a question.
I see you guys. What's your question, Fawn? What's your question? I wait for you. I'm gonna play this some more while you While I wait for your question, sweetie. Uh, there it is.
Offense laws, because this is part of her plan. She says, I'm going to shoot him. She tells officers that. And then the next thing that happens is the officers leave, they get inside of their car, they're still outside of the home, and the defendant comes back outside, and she goes to her car. Inside, she tells her 7-year-old to call 911, and then she beats DeMonte with the metal stick, or metal tie rod, and then shoots him.
Fawn says, why would she even go home if she was threatened via text and phone? Well, I would imagine because her kids were there. That would be reason for me to go.
And I guess not all of them are hurt his kids.
Right. So,
And
I mean,
now,
that's
now she's.
now, if I had a boyfriend that was threatening me and I was on my way home and he was threatening me, if I didn't have kids there, then maybe I wouldn't go, you know. But if I had kids there, yeah, that's probably why.
And she's even claiming that last one ain't his.
Well, yeah.
Which is pretty fucked up if it is his kid, and because he's not on the birth certificate.
Yeah, that's something. I think we had me and my daughter, and we was at my mom's house, and we had a big discussion about that. You know, women that use that as a weapon, like telling a guy, "Look, this ain't your baby." Like, you know, that's a whole nother topic, though. That's a whole nother topic.
Look, that's the one thing that men never forget when you say that.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
And like you said, you can't take it back, and even if it's not now, if it's true, then yeah. But if it's not true, and you're just saying it out of anger, you can't take it back. You can never take it back. So,
because the first thing I'm gonna say is, so who damn kid is this? I need to know because he owed me some damn money.
Hi, Duchess. Mm-hmm. Hi, Miss Ann. Did I miss Miss Ann?
She's
all right.
Here. She asked the question.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's listen.
And then she, again, coaches her child to say that she was hit. And why that's important, I'll get to that in a few minutes. But y'all will hear 4 911 calls in this case. Now, the most telling 911 call is the one where you can actually hear the incident. The one where you can actually hear her saying, get out of my house, and then the shot, then bye, and then DeMonte, when he stumbles outside and tells the police that he got hit and shot, she follows behind saying, I told you. So I wanted to play that 911 call for you. It is. Listen to what happened, because that's the most telling 911 call.
Emergency 911. What's the address of the emergency? My mom just hit a 1 and I feel like I'm a gangster. What's the address? 796 Indian Lane. Okay. And what's the phone number you're calling from? What do you say? What's the phone number you're calling from? Say one. Hello, can you hear me?
Wait, I'm trying to make sure I'm playing the right thing because they playing the 911 call. Okay.
Yeah. You heard the shot, right? Play it again. You heard the shot, right? She says get out, and then you hear a pop.
All right, let's see.
Yeah.
Fairly soft to what happened, because that's the most telling 911 call.
Emergency 911. What's the address of the emergency? My mom just hit a 1 and I feel like I'm a gangster. What's the address? 796 Indian Lane. Okay. And And what's the phone number you're calling from? What is that? What's the phone number you're calling from? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
That 911 operator
What's your name?
didn't hear a gunshot?
I guess not.
If you hear a gunshot, a 911 operator is trained to are you in a safe place? Was that a gunshot? They're asked. So she didn't hear that. I heard that from here. So she didn't hear that. What'd she think that pop was?
I can't say what she heard. I can't say, but it's weird. It's weird.
If we're hearing her voice and the kid's voice, we're hearing what the 911 operator heard. Okay, then you heard a scream. Ah, bitch, get out!
So Fun Bear said it didn't really sound like a gunshot.
It was a pop. You heard a pop. Okay, it might be a small caliber gun, or it could be even a 9mm. They're not that loud, and she's probably in the kids are downstairs. She's upstairs. Now, at least she did it away from them.
Oh no, away from them. Away from them would have been them outside of the home. She ain't doing away.
Yeah, but you can't send her outside because the cops would be like, "Why are the kids running?"
Well, I'm just saying that I'm just correcting you that she did not do it away from them. That's traumatizing to those kids.
Upstairs,
even being in the house.
Yeah, I couldn't make out what she said. My mama got hit. I think she said, "My mama got hit."
Yeah, it was something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where you live? 796 Elderberry, and then this is a kid. Now remember, if she's calling on a cell phone, the 911 operator is not going to have the address.
Right.
It's going to say cell phone.
All right. Let's listen.
Okay, do you know the phone number you're calling from? Do you know the phone number you're calling from? I don't know. You just hit my mom. Who just hit your mom? Man. How does she know him? Is that her friend?
Wait a minute. Hold up. Amen. All right, I'm assuming it's not his child.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Not my boyfriend, not my daddy.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, right, Miss Ann. That baby was put in oh my God, like honestly, 7 years old. She's obviously very smart. She knew her address. She speaks like she's, a smart little girl, but to be put in that position to have to call the cops and while your mama's upstairs shooting her boyfriend, like honestly, like and y'all say I see Ramlin and Daly ain't going. Ramlin and Daly are not going at all. You feel me? All right, so this is like maybe 5 more minutes. Let's listen.
And then the call drops off. Now, what y'all will see is the following events from this 911 call, because the officers are still there and they turn on their body camera and they see Devontae stumbling out. And what does he say as his dying words, his dying declaration is, "She hit me in the head with a metal thing, and then she shot me. Hurry up before I die." And then he collapses. Now, the defendant makes a statement. She's transported to the police department. You guys will get to hear that, and the detective will come testify about it. Now, she admits a lot of things. She admits that she was being petty when the officers were on scene, and she's telling DeMonte, "That's not your kid." She admits that she did get a metal tie rod from her car and the gun. She admits that that was the only gun in the house, only weapon in the house. And she admits that he didn't have any weapons. Now, I think something that's most important is that she coached her 7-year-old child into saying he hit her. And then she goes into the police department and says, no, DeMonte never put his hands on me that day. No, DeMonte didn't hit me that day. And you all will get to hear that it wasn't just on the 911 call that she tells her daughter to say that he hit her first. You all will get to see multiple videos where she make sure you tell them this. And then you'll also get to see body camera footage of that 7-year-old telling her aunt and the police that mommy hit him first, and then he hit mommy. Because she was coached. Now, you have an adult who's the defendant saying, he didn't hit me. But now that 7-year-old believes it happens. And y'all will get to see that she says, mommy told me he hit her, but I saw mommy hit him first. Judge Morris went over the preliminary instructions. She said that the defense has no burden. They don't have to prove anything. Mr. Sterling can just sit there, listen to the evidence. He doesn't have to question our witnesses. He doesn't have to do anything. But I do anticipate in this case that there will be a defense of self-defense. More importantly, self-defense, defense of others, her children that were in the house that she took 2 weapons inside of and fired a gun in, and defense of her property. And I want to talk a little bit about why that doesn't make any sense. And the reason is that the evidence is going to show that the defendant is the primary aggressor. She introduced 2 weapons inside of the house after hours had passed by since the threat. There's also going to be testimony that DeMonte had requested an Uber.
Did you read the back chat?
Uber twice. Once at 9 a.m., but he couldn't leave because he's watching kids.
A cop said defendant is the primary aggressor, brings 2 weapons into a weaponless home, and DeMonte.
There's also going to be testimony that DeMonte had requested an Uber twice. Once at 9 a.m., but he couldn't leave because he's watching kids while she was MIA. And the second time at 11:55, he was trying to leave. He had no interest in fighting her. He was done. But that wasn't enough for her. He made a statement while he was dying. She hit me. She shot me. And then he collapses. Hurry up before I die. And then the inconsistencies. I know I've said this a million times at this point already. She tells detectives DeMonte didn't hit her, but she's repeatedly telling her daughter that he hit me. Tell the police that. Members of the jury, the judge read the indictment to y'all yesterday. She's charged with 7 counts. The state has the burden. We have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt of every element in this indictment, from malice murder all the way to cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. And that's a burden we take. They don't have a burden. But at the end of this trial, we're going to ask you to render a verdict that speaks the truth. That on November 27th, 2022, this defendant was the primary aggressor. She took 2 weapons into the house. She beat him with a metal tie.
I didn't say anything rambling. I was just telling Fawn, okay, that's all I said. I'm going to let this play out because it's almost done.
Rod, she shot him dead, and that 29-year-old DeMonte Smith did not deserve to die on November 27th, 2022. We would ask you to find a verdict of guilty on all counts. Thank you.
All right, so that's the opening statements of the prosecutor, okay? Now, what we're going to get into, which should be interesting, if you ask me, the opening statements of the defense attorney, Okay. Let's go. Let me see.
Miss Johnson could have gotten those threats.
Hold on 1 second. Make sure I got it up. Okay. Now, this is the defense attorney, y'all.
Gentlemen of the jury, I don't recognize the case that the prosecutor just talked about at all. Juanisha Johnson pleaded for protection, cried for help, and she was left defenseless by police officers who knew better. She was left defenseless against a serial abuser by police officers who knew better. You see, on the night in question, Ms. Johnson had just come through her 4th pregnancy. She was 2 months postpartum and finally was going to get a night out for her friend's birthday. A night well deserved after caring through maternity leave 8 weeks for her 2-month-old. She was going to get a night out just to celebrate a friend's birthday. She left about 11 o'clock that night or so, went out to celebrate a friend's birthday, went to a couple of after party spots. Her friend got into a disagreement at one of those spots. She let DeMonte know about the disagreement, dropped him her location so she would know where he was at, and went to another spot so he would know, and dropped him her location so he would know where she was at. You will hear that my client has 2 phones, one because she owns a business, and one is her personal phone. So my client leaves her business phone in the car, takes her personal phone inside with the location drop. While she's inside, hanging out with her friends, her phone dies. When she comes back out of the place ready to go home, she plugs her phone up, and as the charge makes its way up, gets a call from her aunt, Miss Rochelle Newell. Miss Rochelle Newell says, "Hey, where have you been? We've been looking for you. DeMonte's been looking for you." She says, "Well, I dropped my location so he knows where I'm at." She says, "Well, he's been looking for you. We've called hospitals. We were wondering where you were." And she was like, "Well, I'm right here. I'm headed home." She said, "Well, let me 3-way DeMonte in." And as soon as DeMonte gets on the phone, you'll hear from Rochelle Newell and her other aunt, Miss Gonzalez. As soon as they get DeMonte on the phone and he asks questions,
Wait, was that your phone or the court phone?
That was in court. That wasn't my phone.
That was in court? Boy, somebody get their ass whooped. They getting tased. We told you motherfuckers to turn your damn phone off. I'm gonna tase them out. Where's that? Bzz, bitch, I told you to turn your phone off.
See, it's the baby crying and it's the phone.
Now you got phone. These people don't give a fuck about this court. This is a murder trial, and they just in there fucking acting a fool. Phones ringing, babies dead, babies crying.
Working my butt crazy, but always thank you, Brandy. Thank you, girl. I understand.
So so Ramblin said she had 2 phones, both were dead. No, but the other phone was a work phone, so I guess she doesn't call him on the work phone.
Oh, okay.
But he's saying I left him the location where I was.
Child, this is cool. Because I keep going back and forth. Because I'm trying to understand her.
You heard the prosecutor. Like I said, every paragraph is written, and the person that reads it can interpret it the
Interpret
way
it,
they
yeah.
want to.
That's just the way of the world. Like you can get you can like 10 people can read a statement and they all can interpret it differently. So
Yeah, but you notice the prosecutor left out many things.
of course,
Like she just gave birth 2 months ago. Left that out.
honestly, I can say this because I have to be fair. And I'm not gonna drag anybody. I'm not gonna drag her, and I'm not gonna drag him. I'm gonna just make, state my opinions in the situation from what we know. 2 months ago, you just gave birth, right? Why are you out all night partying, coming home the next day? Like you got a whole newborn at home. Like normally, for me, my baby 2 months old, I'm at home. I'm just saying that's not being like mean or anything. That's just my opinion. That's just how I would be. Like if you got a baby, now I didn't know that. I didn't know she had two. So apparently, the baby from him was 2 months old.
Yeah, he may be leaning towards a postpartum depression defense.
He may
because he specified post pregnancy, first time she's going out.
Right. Okay. We'll see. All right, let's listen.
She says, I'm on my way home. I dropped you my location. When you get.
Now, that's not me going out, y'all. That's the actual recording of Court TV. I don't know if they was like blacking some shit out, but I do know that big ass security guard back there went to whoever phone rang and said, listen, I'm going to put your ass out of here. Gay.
Next time I tase you. That's exactly what I just said. Next time I tase you.
I don't know if he said next time.
I would have let that phone go off again, and I'm gonna tase your ass and drag you out.
I don't know what he said, but he walked up to whoever, and he a big dude. Like he probably said, "Listen, that phone's supposed to be on vibrate or mute." Like honestly, y'all please hit the like button if you don't mind. Feel free to support the channel. I guess my mom's not modding today. Gabe was on a mission. Gabe,
take the automatic drop off, please.
Because it's y'all hit the like button, support the channel.
Corroborate that. They were on the phone listening. She also looks at her text messages that DeMonte had been sending her when her phone was dead. And unlike the prosecutor's categorization of it, he says in those text messages, when you get home, I'm going to beat your ass on Crip.
On what?
On Crip.
Damn minute.
Again, the prosecutor is going to lay a rosy garden for everybody to walk around in. He ain't going to tell you the text messages. He's just going to say there was some text messages.
All right, let me back that up.
Yeah.
This man right here, he bringing the gangster. Let me show y'all him. Hold on a minute. He said, I'm going to beat your ass on Crip. Wait a minute. That's him, y'all. I don't want to play it when he says it because you got to see his expressions in his body movements, like, honestly.
Did he say, I'm a beat you?
He said, I'm going to beat your ass on Crip.
On Crip. Is he a gang member? Is he a gang member?
Don't know.
Is that the dude that the phone went off? They dragging his ass out? Oh, no. Okay. He's going in. Okay.
You know what these... All right, here we go.
And unlike the prosecutor's categorization of it, he says in those text messages, when you get home, I'm going to beat your ass on Crip. On Crip. I'm going to beat your ass on Crip. That's what he says in those text messages. So what does my client do? She does what the prosecutor, what the state, what every law enforcement agency tells you to do. Don't take matters into your own hands. Call the police. Ask for help. So my client calls the police. calls the police, calls 911. And she says, I'm getting threats from my baby's father who's at home with my 3 children to go home. I'm in fear. They say, well, we'll dispatch an officer to you. She says, I'm about 30 minutes from home. She's driving home, and there's some issues with them getting the address. You'll hear the 911 call. The operator can't quite understand where the address is. And you'll hear that call. And she says, I'm on my way home. I'll be there. The officer beats her home. And then the officer makes a personal phone call, which was not recorded, to Ms. Johnson's phone, which she got from the 911 operator. Ms. Johnson says, I'm about 10, 15 minutes away. I'm almost there. I'll be home in a second. Please don't leave. I'm scared to go into the house because of the threats she's received from DeMonte Smith. The officer calls her back and says, I've got to take another call. I've been dispatched. Don't go into the home. Just wait. And what does my client do? She follows the officer's instructions. She gets into her neighborhood, waits in the cul-de-sac for the officer. She calls them back and says, I'm here. This is her second time calling 911. She says, I'm here. And I'm waiting. I'm scared to go in the house. I want an escort. I don't want to go in the house by myself with DeMonte Smith. It's 3 times she calls 911. 2 times. She continues to wait. She continues to wait. She calls 911.
Oh, thank you, Brandon. Oh, his name is Michael Sterling. I don't know.
Wait,
I have to Google that.
He was banging Eva Marcellus? Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to Google it again. Thanks, darling.
Okay.
Thank you. Google it.
So the prosecutor is setting it up like she just randomly called 911.
Right.
The defense just told you she made the first call to get the escort. The second 911 call was to tell them that she was there. Okay. Now, there is a third call that isn't being registered by 911 because the police officer calls her phone to tell her he has to leave. Don't go in the house. It's interesting. It's getting interesting because now, he got to go first because he's the prosecution. Now he comes in and he gets to clean it up. See what I'm saying? Now he's cleaning it up. He's filling in the gaps that the prosecutor left out. Now it's starting to make a lot more sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you fill in what the defense is saying and you lay over what the prosecution is saying, what the defense is saying, you see the holes are getting filled in of the things he didn't want to say. See, he didn't want to say what the text message said. He just said there was some text messages and some recordings, but he didn't want to say.
Sure gonna show him.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping they show him because that right there is big. I'ma beat your ass on Crip, whatever the fuck that's supposed to be.
I don't know. This man,
maybe I'm a cripple your ass. I don't know. Maybe he's a Crip member. I don't know.
To answer,
they say that's him.
He's the defense attorney. He looks like him, but he looks like he may have lost the weight. Now she lost weight, he lost weight. If this is him, because he does look like him, but he looks like he may have lost weight.
Man, that's because he ain't getting that Eva pussy anymore.
Well, I seen a photo of Eva up recently, and she has lost a lot of weight. Let me see. Hold on, let me go further. Hold on. But it looks like him. But it looks like he lost weight. He's a trial lawyer. That's him. That's I looked it up. I said, Eva Marcel's ex-husband, Michael Stern. Co-star on the Bravo reality series The Real Housewives, blah, blah, blah. And we know that this is in Atlanta, y'all. That's him. He doesn't look different. He looks smaller. He's smaller, Fondell. He done lost a lot of weight. That's him though, y'all. Let me show y'all this right here. Wow. Okay, hold on. That's him right there. And I wish I could get like facial, even when I screenshot these pictures to show y'all images. It's like the jury is to their left, well, our left, and they're not. They rarely standing looking at looking straight ahead where I can get a good picture. You need a front view. If he turns around doing this this is him. I'm telling you. I looked it up. He's a trial lawyer in Atlanta. Works hard for the money as an Atlanta area attorney. That's him. All right, so let's listen.
A third time, it says, hey, I don't know if y'all remember, but I'm the person who was waiting for someone to come and escort me to the house. I got the threats. And this time she says, look, I'm really concerned because he was irate on the phone. And you'll hear from Miss Rochelle Newell, Miss Gonzalez, and outside of their conversation.
Oh, shit, I ain't mean to do that. I ain't mean to show y'all him while he was talking. But that's him, y'all. All right.
On three-way with Ms. Johnson. They were also texting DeMonte and talking to him and saying, don't put your hands on her again. You can't do that again. We're not going to go for that again. You see, because they took the threat seriously. So she waits. And then she does the fourth thing. She triggers the alarm in the house so that her alarm company will call her. And when her alarm company calls her, she says, please dispatch a police officer. I do not want to go into the house with DeMonte. He's in there with my 3 children. I don't want to go into the house with him. He's been threatening me, and I'm scared. It's her 4th time trying to get in touch with police. She waits. She waits. No one comes. Still doesn't go into the house. Here's why that's important. Here's what you will learn why that's important. She had no duty, no requirement to call police at all. Ms. Johnson could have gotten those threats, went in that house with her gun, waited for him to fulfill his promise, and she could have shot him in self-defense. Never called police at all. Never waited for a dispatch. Never done any of that. The importance of that, as you will learn, is that goes to her intent. As the judge just described to you, every crime requires two.
I have his picture up.
An intent in your state of mind. She had no duty under Georgia law, no obligation, no requirement to wait for any police officers, but she did. And when they didn't come, you know what Ms. Johnson does? She drives around the corner in her neighborhood. She flags down a police officer, finds one, flags him down and says, I've been waiting for a police officer. I'm scared to go in the home. My 3 children are in there. Will you follow me to my home? And he says, I heard that call. Yes, I'll follow you. And he may have been on his way already, but she flagged him down. She follows him to the home. And then you'll see the body cam footage where she explains to him the threats that were made throughout the night. Now, those are her cries for help. The question is, why did Ms. Johnson take the threat so seriously? Why was she so afraid? Well, you'll find out that just a few weeks after she had given birth, just a few weeks prior to that, just a few weeks when she was postpartum, DeMonte, mad and furious, one day, grabbed her, slammed her on the floor, stood over.
I don't think she was. I don't think he was the father of all her kids because the oldest one was like some man.
Yeah, I think he was the daddy of the last baby. I think that's probably it. That's her, y'all, in court.
Yeah, I'd had a baby by her.
That's her. Oh God. I don't think so, Melissa. I think he was maybe just the father of the last baby.
Okay, I got Marcella and Eva and him in a side by side picture.
Yeah, I see several. That's him. He just done lost weight.
Yeah, his face is a lot. Yeah, his face is a lot thinner.
Yeah, let me do this. Yeah, that's him. That is absolutely him. Like I say, he's smaller and she's smaller. Like I seen a picture of her and she has lost a lot of weight. And she was already small.
Go ahead, boy. You tearing that ass up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You know what? It's the ratchet for me. All right, here we go, y'all.
Over her and shook her just weeks after she had given birth. She called his mother. She texted his mother. You'll see that text message. Says, DeMonte just slammed me on my face. I'm not trying to get him in trouble because of his situation. You'll learn about that situation.
Oh,
See, DeMonte was a serial abuser. You'll hear about his serial abuse.
What's the situation?
Other domestic violence. He just said he's a serial abuser, which means that he's been arrested for abuse before. Now, the police probably did not run his name, but they should have because
That's what I'm saying. They should have. They're supposed to run his name and her name.
Yes, they're supposed to. When you come in, anything, you ask for ID. May I have your ID before I take this statement. And then you run both of them, and they will see that he has a history, that he's been arrested before for domestic violence. And they'll see if there's been prior history for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she texted his mother and said, he just slammed me on my face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had a baby by him. You knew who he was before you opened them legs for him.
That's true, but that still doesn't.
No, doesn't give him doesn't give him the right to do that. Okay,
at all.
And he keeps bringing up postpartum. He keeps saying that word, postpartum. He is going. Not only is this going to be self-defense, it's going to be a postpartum defense.
Mm-hmm.
That she is not capable of controlling her emotions due to postpartum depression, and that the fact that he put his hands on her with the postpartum depression made her act in this aggressive manner.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling you what he's doing.
I don't know about postpartum depression, but she's doing some very questionable things, like staying out all night with him with the 3 babies, and she got a 2-month-old. I mean, that's.
But again, baby, the history would show that he was getting on her nerves.
Well, you know, your nerves, you don't leave your baby with him. Baby's with him, you put his ass out.
But again, she supposedly she was with her friends, hanging out with her.
Listen, Detroit, I understand. Listen, I can even give her, baby being 2 months old and her going out with friends, because it gets to be a lot. It does. Like I said, 2 months. When my babies were 2 months, my ass was at the house, but that's just me. But this is the thing: You can go out and have a good time and digress. It don't take all night to do that. In fact, it wasn't just all night. It was till 11 a.m. the next day. Like, who does that? And if this man is such a danger and he's so abusive, like somebody said in the chat, why are you leaving your babies with him overnight and doing half for the next day?
Well,
It's not making sense to me, but I'm not saying that that's any reason. I don't give a fuck if she was gone for 3, 4, 5 days. You still don't put your hands on her. Period. But I'm just saying, like, what her moves are not making sense to me.
The prosecutor said that he was trying to go somewhere. That the victim, who's dead now, was trying to go somewhere.
Gotcha.
But you know, that's just one text message.
Mm-hmm.
He's only mentioned one text message. He said there was several text messages.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bet you they're not all the same.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
And if there's a history of him doing it, makes it even worse.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go, y'all.
I'm not trying to get him in trouble because of this situation, but you got to do something about this. So she's calling his mom, pleading for help just weeks after giving birth and just weeks prior to this incident.
Is it weeks or months now? Is it weeks or months? I guess it could be 2 months, is what, 8 weeks, I guess. Okay.
So when she gets the threats on this night, that's why she takes the threats so seriously. Because she had just experienced his wrath a few weeks prior. You hear evidence about Mr. Smith's abuse. You heard evidence that he made these threats on Crip. And we'll let the detectives and the police officers explain to you what that means when somebody makes a threat on Crip. He made the threats in front of 2 witnesses who heard it, who took it seriously and told her, don't go in that house without police. Wait for him. She waited for him. She explained to him what was going on. And when they got there, she showed him on the phone, DeMonte moving all around the house. She said, I got cameras in the house. You can see where he's moving. He didn't answer the phone he didn't answer the door for the first police officer, Officer Lamy. He didn't answer the phone for him or answer the door for him. He was just moving around the house.
Michael Sterling on fire, giving his opening statement to this jury. We're going to hit the pause button. You're going to see the rest of it in a moment after this break. This is Court TV Live.
All right, I'm going to fast forward it through the breakout.
And when the second officer comes, she tells Ms. Johnson, just unlock the door, push it, and step back. Ms. Johnson does what the officer says. Ms. Johnson volunteered the information to the officer that she had a gun on her. She says, I'm licensed to carry. And you'll learn what licensed to carry means. It means she's got a permit. She's gone through training. She's did all of the requirements under Georgia law to be licensed to carry her weapon. And the officer says, well, put it in your car while we're here for everybody's safety. She does exactly the officer requests. I mean, after all, you've got 2 police officers there protecting you. What do you need the gun for? There's no problem complying with the officers. Puts the gun in the car. He comes out. First, before he comes out, he's moving around the house. He goes and picks up a sleeping baby to bring outside to use as a prop, whose diaper is soiled. And the officers, you'll see on body camera, the officers will agree because they have to come back to Ms. Johnson and get permission to change the baby's diaper. Brings out a half-naked baby in the November cold whose diaper is soiled so he can use it as a prop. Because he doesn't like, as you will learn, when people call the police. You will see the language he uses. He says, yo, police ass, calling the police. He doesn't like that, especially when he's threatening somebody on Crip. And you will hear that the police officer instructs him, give her the baby. he doesn't listen to that instruction. So when Ms. Johnson goes for the baby, he pulls the baby away, even though the police officer, Officer Lamy, has instructed him to give her the baby. And she's like, the baby's gonna get colic. It's cold out here to do so.
Yes, it is November.
Him and Ms. Johnson get into
Yeah, November and I keep saying Atlanta, but I know it's Georgia, right? So November, not
November 22nd.
No snow, but I'm sure it's cold.
But at least chilly. It's at least chilly.
Yeah, at least
it's probably 50s or 60s.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Gloria. Y'all feel free to support the channel. Hit the like button. Thank you, Miss Gloria. How many times now have he said that? He gotta make the point, Ramlin. That's the team doing his job, child. He doing his job, man. He doing his job. Okay, here we go, y'all. We got on this 9 more minutes, but I'm enjoying it. How about y'all? It is shit to us, Brooks. Damn it, we don't.
Okay, so the On Crip is a gang. It's derived from the Crip gang.
Of course, we knew that. So, we know that. Did you Google that?
Yeah, I'm trying to see what it is in this trial. What they're trying to say it is, but nothing's coming up.
We know that. Did you Google that? Did you Google that? The truth?
Yeah. It's definitely a Crip term. So
the truth. Not too much on the South now. Not too much.
Yeah, but it's definitely
because y'all get feasts of snow up there around yonder where you at. That's chilling to us, girl.
Argument. And Ms. Johnson admits, I'm being petty. I'm upset. Now, this is a house Ms. Johnson owns. I'm sorry, she leases. Her name's the only one on the lease. She's paid for. She's been living at. It's her home and her home alone. You'll learn that.
Another example of what we talked about last night. I'm gonna get into it. They say, why would they instruct him to give her the baby? That's his baby too. Well,
okay.
Need a change in David.
Yeah, he's first up. Who comes out of the house in November with a baby in a diaper, and they notice the baby's diaper is soiled? He's definitely not caring for that baby in a manner that should be recognized to be done correctly. And I guess they're also seeing that he's only using this baby to antagonize her.
I absolutely could from there. I remember I did stay in New York for a time. No, don't do me fun. Don't do me. Now, daily. My thoughts. Baby had no clothes on, and they wanted to talk to him. And they probably wanted to talk to him without the baby, him just standing there holding up soil, half-naked baby.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to get shit all over him. He's swinging the baby around and shit flying out of the diaper.
No, so we can't do that to the baby. You can't say the baby had shit flying around. You know what? Y'all know this is serious, but we're going to always put some comedy in her. We have to keep it light. Girl. Listen, fun, and he wants to come at me because of the region I stay in, and the fact that, you know what, and this is too much. This is too much. All the more reason not to leave the kids with them. Ramlin, listen, I agree with you, Ramlin. I do. She wasn't worried about that baby. If she would have come home. Oh, wow. David and Ramlin ain't gone.
They get into an argument. They argue back and forth. And Ms. Johnson is consistent in telling the police, don't leave. Finally, DeMonte walks by her. Just as the police are getting ready to leave because they're fed up. The police were frustrated at the arguing back and forth and felt like Ms. Johnson and Mr. Smith weren't listening to them. And they were like, I don't have time for this. I'm out. And just as they do that, DeMonte walks by Miss Johnson. And he says to her again, as soon as the police leave, I'm going to beat your ass.
Yes, and that is
Miss
a
Newell
statement by the police.
was on the phone with Miss Johnson.
Wait a minute, you went. He said that in front of the police.
He said that the police. I don't know if the police heard it, but somebody made a statement about it.
Chef, this is Mr. Michael Starling, the ex-husband of Eva Marcel.
I bet he.
We
missed
have
that.
discovered that, Chef.
Yeah, I bet he missed that pussy too.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
Mute.
Here's the threat. The police say they don't hear it. But Ms. Johnson, contemporaneously, at the same time he says it, tells police, wait, y'all just heard what he said, right? He said as soon as y'all leave, he's going to beat my ass. And the police, and she says, what happens if I defend myself? What happens? I'm licensed to carry. What happens if I shoot?
What he done? He's the lawyer. He's the lawyer, Chef. He's the defense attorney in this case. You know what, E-Brooks? Listen, you don't want to go there with me. E-Brooks, keep it cute. Stella, you don't want to go there with me, Stella. And I heard what Trey said last night, talking about your name ain't no damn Stella and things of that nature, because she was 20 years old and blah, blah, blah. He called you Stella. Stella. He defended his lady. Yeah, Ramlin. He's the lawyer, Chef. I didn't get in and out. I'm sorry, Juicy Kim. Welcome, baby. Welcome.
And the police officer flippantly and walks off and leaves her defenseless in a home with a serial
defenseless. She was not defenseless. Now, they shouldn't have left her like that if he was making. See, I don't understand how he make threats while the cops were there and they still left, but
they did not hear the threat. She repeats it to the police officer, but it is one of the threats in the text messages. As soon as you get home, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like you ain't my motherfucking daddy.
Not only has he verbalized that on the phone with her aunts, not only did he send it in text, and then he said it allegedly while the police was out there. I mean, you know. All right, let's listen.
Abuser who has threatened her all night. After she's called the police 4 or 5 times, Ms. Johnson makes one last effort. Cell phone, 2 cell phones. She says, both of y'all call 911. Wouldn't listen to me, maybe they'll hear the cries of the children. If you call 911. So she gives both her daughters a cell phone and says, y'all call 911. She's scared. The police have left. She's now basically being told to go into a home where somebody has threatened to beat her ass on crib. So she goes for her protection. She puts her firearm in her pocket and she grabs a tire iron out of the car. The thing you use to, people call it signs, the thing you use to jack the car. She grabs it for her protection. Tells her daughters, goes back in the house, tells her daughters, call 911. Maybe they'll send somebody else out to hit the children. She goes to get her 2-month-old daughter from upstairs. And you'll see the way the house is. Go upstairs, there's a wall right here. She goes to get her child. And she says, backs up. If you come at me, I'm gonna hit you with this. All right. Here's why that's important. That's her trying to do everything she can, as she has done all night, with the gun up that says, if you hit me, I'm gonna shoot you. She goes back in with the tire iron and says, hey, back up, back up. He comes at her. She goes up to back him up. Tire iron drops. And he says, you really gonna hit me with that? Calling the cops. Joe cop ass. He charges at her again. One shot. You heard the tape. In the midst of all that chaos and emotion, and Miss Johnson finally standing up for herself after all of this abuse, after everything she's done all night to avoid this confrontation, she defends herself. And you will learn self-defense. Person is justified in using force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm if she reasonably believes that such force is necessary to prevent death or great bodily injury to herself or third person, or to prevent the commission of a forcible felony. And you will get to consider all of the circumstances. Every 911 call she made, her flagging down a police officer, her triggering her alarm, her asking her two daughters to call 911, everything she did to not be here. They're more interested in protecting the cops because the cops failed to protect Miss Johnson. They didn't ask him to take a walk. You'll learn that. They didn't ask him, hey, why don't we come over here and cool down? They didn't run any records to see if he was violating his conditions of bond. They simply left her in the house with a serial abuser.
Did you hear what he said? The truth.
They said they didn't.
He said he was violating something about bond. So was he out on another charge? Was he on bond?
I'm checking now. I'm getting his name.
They couldn't have ran these people's names, honestly.
No, they did. I'll guarantee they didn't.
They couldn't have.
And nobody's more torn up about what happened to DeMonte Smith than Miss Johnson. Her initial reaction may have been violent, but when she realized the gravity of what had occurred, Miss Johnson was torn up. It's not what she wanted to happen. That's why she called y'all. That's why she called them. That's why she called the police. But that night, Miss Johnson did what she thought was necessary under the circumstances and reasonable to defend herself and others from great bodily harm. She doesn't even belong in this courtroom.
So y'all just really gonna sit in my chat and talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, I've been watching it. I'm just saying, okay, maybe they just getting it out. I mean, like, honestly, like, oh Lord, she's the offense. I love y'all. I do.
And because of that, because of the fact that she was defending herself, I'm going to come back at the conclusion of this trial and hold me to my premises that I've made about everything that happened that night. I'm going to ask you to find Ms. Johnson not guilty of malice murder, not guilty of felony murder, not guilty of aggravated assault, not guilty of cruelty to children.
She got a lot of charges. Like, I think somebody, the prosecutor said 7. Did you hear that, or am I tripping?
No, she's got multiple charges, and so the assault and murder, assault, and endangering a child times 2 because there was 2 children in the house. Including aggravated assault with a firearm, aggravated assault with a firearm. Because remember, she hit him.
Did she get aggravated assault for hitting him?
Yes, so she got aggravated assault for hitting him with the tire iron, and then aggravated assault with a firearm.
Gotcha. All right, y'all. It's 3 more minutes. About 3 more minutes.
Because the only thing she did was defend herself that night from a serial
That's
abuser
Melissa. It was 3 kids. Well, yeah, it was 2 other kids besides the baby that he was holding. So yeah, 3 kids, Melissa.
who was about to cause serious great bodily harm to her after she had exhausted all of the options to get police to protect her. She cried for help. She pleaded for protection. And she defended herself because no one else would. Not guilty on all counts. Thank you.
Wow.
He paints a totally different picture, doesn't he?
But see, the thing about it is, like, even if she planned it, because I know some people were saying in the chat that, you know, even I think you mentioned premeditated, but this is the thing. Even to me, honestly, even if she planned it, even if she did all of these things that she did in order to cover herself, she did a great job to me, honestly. Like, listen, the woman called the police on the way home. She called the police. She called the police on the way home. She called the police when she got there. I mean, because and the thing about it is, like, there were threats made. They were threats made, and to me, honestly, with her calling the cops and things of that nature, like, if she set them all up, she covered her bases. I wonder what her occupation is. Can you Google that? Be true. I wonder what her occupation is.
She owns something. Let me see.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, she owns her own business.
Yeah, she lives in a nice house, even though she's renting it. Let me see.
Yeah, she's leasing it.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be all I'm gonna play for the day, but I do want to play this short video because it's entitled, and I'm thinking it's a synopsis of day one, because tomorrow we're gonna get into day one's testimony. Set it up to make herself look like, well, like I say, if she was setting it up, I think she did everything she was supposed to do. I don't think she could have did any more by calling the cops. And they were called 3 times. She did have evidence of threats. So let's we're gonna listen to one more short video before we get out of here, y'all. And then tomorrow we're gonna get into day one testimony. And this is, I think, maybe a synopsis of day one testimony. Let's see. Let's see. Because I think y'all getting bored because y'all got
I
all
don't
going on.
I don't think this is her. It says she owns a taxi service. She got a PPP loan, but I don't know. I don't think that's her.
This is
Not her. I don't think that. I don't think that's her.
all right. Let's see. It could be her. It could be her, to be true.
It says she got a PP loan.
First say she don't think she gonna get away with it.
I think she is.
You think she is?
I think she is.
All right. Hold on, y'all. This is my door. I'll be right back.
Trying to see what she does, but nothing's coming up, and my other database is down, so I can't run a background check on her right now. Let me see if it says what she does. Oh, damn it. What the hell is this? When was this? Oh, damn it. Sam Williams was arrested? Son of a bitch. You're a dumbass. Okay, sorry. Let me look at the chat here. No, why do you think she should be? I mean, again, you're only going off of what the prosecutor said. The prosecutor is leaving out a lot of the things that happened prior to her uh, shooting him. I mean, I guess he wasn't in fear of it, and for him to say, "I'm gonna beat your ass" over and over again. So tell me, if that was you guys and your significant other keeps telling you that he's gonna what he's sorry, Duchess, he's a player on the Cowboys. He just got arrested.
What did you get arrested for? I didn't hear you. I'm on the phone.
Drugs and weapons in the car, dumbass.
Oh wow. Okay.
So if this was you, you're her, and he's known for uh, whooping a woman's ass. Oh, good. Fawn's up here. So he's known for whooping a woman's ass. What would you do?
Okay. Hey guys.
Hey, Fawn.
Clown Truth,
Oh
Money
Lord.
Boy.
Oh Lord.
This is why I say I think she's guilty. Now, I've been multitasking because I'm at work and been taking calls and stuff, so I might have missed something.
Probably did.
Now, the police were called. They were still there. Is that when she went up with the crowbar and knocked him upside the head and then
And yeah,
shot
that's
him?
another thing that got me fun. If she did that, if she did what she did, why the police still there? To me, honestly, she should have went back down to the police.
Now it takes a little while to like disconnect from a call. So they could be sitting out there 10, 15 minutes before they leave. But you remember, he kept saying, police caller, police caller.
I get that. Maybe I'm a little confused. Okay. If the police were there, they were in a heated argument. They said, calm down and go back in the house.
Yes,
correct?
No one touched each other.
Okay, that's okay. I got that part. They were in a heated argument.
Mm-hmm.
They were told to calm down and go back in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from my understanding, I could be wrong. They were still there doing whatever they were doing. And I'm talking about the police. She went inside with the crowbar, knocked him upside the head, shot him, and had the daughter call the police. But if the police were still there, why would she have her daughter call the police? This is
Now
why
she may not have looked outside and saw that they were still there. It might have been one of the other units that weren't in front of the house that was still there.
Okay, my point is, were the police still there when this took place?
They were still there, Fun. But what he's saying is, when she actually hit him and shot him, she may not have known they were still there. We don't know for a fact. Now, no, it was said it was said that they were still there.
Okay, now that's my point. That's
if she knew they were still there or not, we don't know.
Well, okay, if they were still there, let's just say they were, and this took place. Why she's guilty because they were there and asked you, do you feel safe? Or she could have told them.
No, they never asked. They never. The thing the police.
She could have told them she felt threat. She had the opportunity. This is what I'm saying.
She did. She even told them he threatened her while they were there.
Yes, while they were there, and they said, "We're done with you. Go, both of you, go inside the house." Remember, the cops mentioned that they were frustrated because neither one of them was listening. They would tell them to stop. They had to tell him to give her the baby. Then they had to ask permission to change the baby's diaper.
Okay, that's when they should have told him, "Sir, you need to leave. We're going to take you away. Because both of y'all need to cool down."
I absolutely agree with you. I don't understand how these people went to this call.
I don't either. It's very confusing.
And they did not separate this couple. I agree with you.
The thing, there was no act of violence towards each other.
Even though it had not happened, I get it, true, and you know the law way better than me. But I get that supposedly, allegedly, it had not happened yet. But there were several threats.
Again, did she show them the text message? Because there's a lawsuit in the middle of all this. Understand that high profile lawyer right there that was married to Eva, there's a lawsuit in there. If the police did not do what they were supposed to do, and did not protect her or him, there's a lawsuit in there.
And it should be.
Okay. Number one, when he got hit upside the head, why didn't he run outside to the police?
They said, well, to be fair, once he hit him upside the head, she shot him. Maybe he didn't have a chance to get to the police before she shot him.
She's
right.
He ran out of
the house after he was hit and shot.
Yes, but according to her, she hit him. And then he said, "You really going to hit me?" And she said, "Don't come close to me." And that's when she shot him. So he was hit, and she told him not to come towards her. And that's when she shot him. So he could have been hit in the head and said, "Oh, shit, you hit me in the head," and ran outside and told the police she hit him in the head. Then she would have been arrested.
No, I think her intentions were to shoot him anyway.
Well, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. He's a scumbag.
Well, that may be so, but still, I mean.
Now, here's the thing. The police don't know his history because they didn't bother to check. She knows his history. So she knows what he's
capable of. That's another thing, though. If there is a lawsuit, they were supposed to run their names.
Well, they
wouldn't know. If they and the truth, that's your homework. We need to find out this guy got. What is his history?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Now, if they had ran his name and saw that he had a history, because he was out on bond for something, it was stated.
Yes, that's
so if he had a history where he was arrested before for this shit, then they would have known to get his ass out.
And something happened 2 weeks before this. Understand that. You guys might have missed that, but something happened 2 weeks prior to this incident. He put her hands on him. He put her hands on her 2 weeks prior to this, and there's a text message to his mother that proves it. Now, she may have sent that text message that she planned on doing this. I don't know. I'm just saying there was some things that happened prior to this event.
It was a history.
So,
bottom line is they had a toxic relationship.
Did. Yep. Sure did, fun. And like I said, I keep going back and forth because, like I said, it's some things that she did, and there's some things that, like, it's just for me. To me, this is gonna be a good one, and I'm so glad I caught it at the beginning. But I don't know. I can't even say. I know a lot of people saying she's gonna get out, she's not gonna get out. I can't say right now, to be honest.
I'm going to the courthouse with a picket sign.
Not a picket sign.
Say, let my baby mama off.
Not you know what. Let's listen, and we can talk some more before we get out, because I actually gave myself 3 hours for this live, and we're at 2:28. But I do want to play this video, y'all. I do want to play this video right here, and it says it's on Court TV, of course. All of my commentary will be coming from Court TV. Self-defense or murder trial day one, and I think maybe, because I haven't listened, it's a synopsis of what happened in the courtroom on day one, and tomorrow we're actually gonna get into the testimony from day one, y'all. Okay, so let's listen.
And we kick off this hour in the state of Georgia, where day two of the self-defense or murder trial for defendant Quanisha Johnson is set to begin this hour, my friends, probably around 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. There's the defendant standing in.
It cut off.
I was talking and I was on mute. I'm sorry. Listen. So she said we're about to get into day 2. Day 2 will be today because this live was done 3 hours ago. So today is day 2. Tomorrow we're gonna get into day 1. I will try my best to also get into day 2 so we can be gravely caught up. Like we could be literally to the day, which is my intent. So we won't fall behind. But you know, we're doing good because previous trials we've caught them in day 5 and 6. So
no, we're already, the judgment had already been done on.
Yeah, that was the Murdoch trial. Yeah. So I'm proud of myself that I did catch this when I did, but I'm gonna try my best to get it. Cause see, even with tomorrow, cause what's the day? No, I'm gonna try my best to get caught up, y'all. But actually, tomorrow we're gonna listen to day 1. Today is day 2. We're gonna listen to that as well if we have time, and then we'll be caught up. All right, so let's listen to what she says about day 1, which was yesterday. Day 1 was yesterday.
In between her 2 defense attorneys. She is a mother of 4 being accused of the murder of her boyfriend and the father of her youngest child. Now, the state's position on this one is that Johnson was the antagonizer in the deadly altercation. But the defense is pointing to a woman who was left defenseless. And today we expect to hear her daughter called to the witness stand by the prosecution, her 8-year-old daughter, to tell the jury what she remembers about that night, including the all-important 911 call that she made.
911, what's the address of the emergency? My mom just hit a woman and I feel like I'm a gangster. What's the address? 796 Airview. Okay, do you know the phone number you're calling from? Do you know the phone number you're calling from? I don't know. You just hit my mom.
All right, I'm going to bring in now Court TV legal correspondent Julia Janae, who's standing by live for us this morning in DeKalb County, Georgia. This is the greater Atlanta area. Julia, wonderful to see you. Good morning. Tell us who we can expect to hit the witness stand today, please.
Good morning, Julie. We understand that attorneys are inside of the courtroom and they are not on the record yet, but you heard that 911 call, that little girl saying he hit my mom. That's the witness that we expect to take the stand first today. Always difficult to know that a child, someone who was as young as 7 when this happened and 8 now, is going to have to be on the witness stand where she's talking about something that she witnessed, and her mother is the one who was on trial, who's sitting there at the defense table. We know she is in her mother's care. I've watched them walk into this courthouse together. Her mom has been out on bond. More recently, she did have to fight to get that bond, but that's the little girl who called 911 after her mother handed her the phone, and according to the prosecution, was coached into saying he hit my mom. The defense obviously saying that no, she was telling the truth about what she was witnessing. The judge yesterday walking this child through the courtroom to make sure she felt comfortable with the parties and where things are laid out, even showing her the witness stand so that hopefully today things are a bit easier for her on the stand. We're not going to be able to show her, of course, but we will be able to share the audio of that testimony that's so important in this case, Julie.
Oh, you're absolutely right, my friend. That'll be just as gripping, just to hear that child's voice live in the courtroom. This is a very tough day for her, I am sure. I want to talk to you, please, Joy, about that body camera footage on the night in question coming in to evidence Tuesday, and Quanisha Johnson's shocking question that she posed to police and how this is going to affect really both sides of the trial.
It's a question that is causing this trial to be considered by some of the analysts who've been watching this trial, the premeditated self-defense case, because of what came before that fatal shot was fired. We know those officers were on the scene of this domestic dispute. And in watching that body camera footage of DeMonte Smith and Quanisha Johnson, they go up and down in terms of the energy and the escalation and the frustration that they are showing with each other. They're arguing with each other, but also arguing with the officer. And we heard this moment twice in court because it was asked to be played again to make sure there wasn't a mischaracterization of what Quanisha told police officers as they were leaving the scene.
Do you need anything else? Get down and get my answer tonight. So when I shoot him for self-defense, then what? Because I'm licensed. So if I shoot him in my residency, because he's sitting here putting his hands on me for the second time, then what? I'll have him. You hear this, right? You heard what he just said? I'm going to answer tonight. So when I shoot him, and I get caught the cops and get that I was the great thing you can articulate. I can't go on. I can't understand yours. You better really be able to articulate that.
Did she say you heard what he said to me?
Wait a minute, the truth. I was talking and I was muted. I keep muting while y'all listening so y'all won't hear background noise. But listen, I gotta go back and play because they're showing what she's saying on the screen. And it's one thing to hear the lawyer say what she said, but it's another thing to hear what she said and to see the words. Now, listen, y'all, listen.
Do you need anything else?
So the officer said, do you need anything else? The officer said, do you need anything else? Quanisha says, and you finna hear it, he said, I'm going to get my ass beat tonight. So when I shoot him, listen. I'm get my ass beat tonight. So when I shoot him for self-defense, then what? When I shoot him in self-defense, then what? Because I'm licensed. So if I shoot him in my residency, listen. Because I'm licensed. So if I shoot him in my residency, because he's sitting here putting his hands on me for the second time. That's what she said. That's what she's about to say. Because he's sitting here putting his hands on me for the second time. Then what? I'm going to have to kill him. You hear this, right? You heard what he just said. Listen, y'all. You hear this, right? You heard what he just said? I'm going to ask you tonight. So when I shoot him. You heard what he just said. I'm going to get my ass beat tonight. So when I shoot him, she's telling him she going to shoot him if he put his hands on him. And I didn't call the officer said, if you think that you can articulate what's going on, this is what this officer is about to say. If you think that you can articulate what's going on, articulate. I can't go on. I can't understand yours. You better really be able to articulate that. The officer said you better really be able to. Not that, okay, this woman is saying if she go back in this house, this man gonna hit her and she gonna shoot her. Not that, oh, we may need to separate these two people because there's potential, because there's a threat that he may put his hands on her and she may shoot him. And maybe we should separate them. No, the officer says you better really be able to articulate that. That's the audio. We're going to hear all of that, y'all.
There's a bit of a dispute over whether the shooting victim, in this case, DeMonte Smith, actually said that to Johnson, whether he was going to hurt her after police left. It's something officers didn't hear, but Johnson reported hearing it. And we understand that an aunt who was on the phone with Johnson heard that through the phone line. So we'll likely hear that. If not in the state's case, we'll hear it in the defense case, Julie.
Oh, yeah, that testimony corroborating that will be huge. Julia.
That's the end. That's it. That's the end of that fight. That's the end of that clip. So, yeah. So, Fonbear, I think the police failed her, and I think the police failed him. Sorry.
Yeah, the police failed the whole situation. Seriously.
Yes.
Because if I'm telling you that he's already threatened me, he's already put his hands on me. And when y'all leave, if he puts his hands on me, I've had enough. I'm going to cap his ass. And you're going to tell me, well, you better be able to articulate that? What the hell?
You tell him that's right, Melissa. Melissa, you see? Yeah, that's telling her, look, if you're going to shoot his ass, just be able to say, be able to articulate why you shot his ass.
Yeah, you better be able to explain why you use lethal force.
But I'm explaining to you now, sir. So you should be able to intervene and stop that. And remove him from the home.
Because they can't, and they have seen no signs of violence.
See, you keep stressing that.
I mean, if somebody threatening you, and he didn't already put his hands on me.
Did she show them? Did she show them the threats? Did she say, "Here, look at the text
get my
messages"?
Ass kicked for you to do something?
Well, again, and then if they removed him and there was nothing, they're kind of stuck because they didn't see any violence other than them going back and forth.
You don't have to see anything. If someone is telling you, and they're in a heated argument,
and then you got homework, and that's his name, and then they saw that
he was out on. If he is out on bond, they would have taken him with them. If they saw that he was out on bond for another violent incident, they would have.
Somebody found out, man. Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. So they're in a heated conversation. Even with you as the law police officers, you can't even calm the situation down. You don't think it could go any further, or do you think common sense would tell you, listen, dude, we're going to remove you from the house for a while. You need to be gone for at least 24 hours so both of y'all can calm down.
And you're right, Vaughn. Now, let's be clear. History shows that even if they had separated them two, maybe he would have came back, she would have let him back in, maybe he would have ended up back in home. But the police officers would have did their job to me.
Exactly. I'm not going to sit here and be told, oh, they didn't see any violence.
But if she let him,
you're gonna take. You're just taking.
And she let him back in the house, and some shit popped out. That's different.
That's different.
That didn't even try.
Right.
Did you ever hear her say, "Remove him from my premises"?
In so many words, she's telling you.
The defense attorney said that's her house. His name is not on the lease. She could have said at any point, "I don't want him here. Get him out."
What you think the police was for? What you think her saying? He threatened me. I mean, I guess she didn't verbalize it. We didn't hear that. But I'm just saying to be true. Why call the police? If she wanted to stay there and take an ass whooping and shoot his ass, she wouldn't even call the police. She called the police for a reason. Maybe she called the police to cover her ass.
I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not saying they didn't do what they were supposed to do. I said it earlier. They fucked up. He should have been gone. Regardless, it's not his home. Unless he can produce something, mail or something. That's why don't let a motherfucker get mail at your house. Because if he produces mail,
absolutely not. That's establishing residence.
Yeah, he establishes residence. Make sure their shit stays in a suitcase. See, time for them to go. See, they don't even live here. It's a suitcase. That's a suitcase.
That's why some people, say fuck the police and take matters in their own hands. Because if all the police have the mentality of, well, I didn't actually see anything, you know what? Forget it. I'll give you a reason to pull up. I'll give you a reason to pull up.
And then I'm on here. Oh, you don't twist up, Vaughn.
Huh?
I bet you don't change your mind, huh?
Well, when I heard her saying all this to this dumbass cop.
Yep.
I'm like, common sense ain't so common anymore.
It was a woman cop. And that should matter.
And people,
it was a woman.
I believe that the police were very frustrated and they were tired of both of them because they kept telling them to stop.
Okay, and
arguing,
if they did it, and that's when you should have separated them. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I agree with you, ma'am. I agree with you. I really do.
Yeah.
That's why I said buried in the middle of this is a lawsuit.
And it should be.
Yeah.
Because this is unnecessary, traumatic behavior that should have never happened.
Should have never happened. Absolutely.
Okay. Now I'm gonna find out what charges he had on him, because she kept saying in the text message to the mother, due to his circumstances, I don't want to get him in trouble. So he may be out on bond for some other reason.
That should have made them look him up. That should have gave them the inkling of look the dude up. What is his circumstance? Because now they're both heated. Now, did she go in the house? From my understanding, she just went up there and just clocked his ass with the crowbar.
He came at her.
He came at her first.
Before she hit him, you could hear her saying, "Get away from me. Get away from me." And then you hear him say, "You gonna hit me with that?" And that's when you hear pop.
It's not funny, but still.
Now, according to the defense attorney, after she hit him with the crowbar, he looked at her and said, "You gonna hit me with that?" And then she said, "Don't come near me or I'll shoot you." Remember, she had the gun in her pocket. She stated that she went to the car and got the crowbar and put the gun in her pocket. So she was walking around the house with the gun in her pocket, which I believe she should have, because he said, when the cops leave, I'm going to whoop your ass. Now, the cops hadn't left yet. So he hadn't commenced to whooping her ass yet.
I don't think I would have shot him, but I would have took that crowbar and he wouldn't have had no teeth on the left side of his damn mouth.
But again, I think after she hit him, he knocked the crowbar out of her hand.
I don't know, because it wasn't said, but it's a good scenario. But I'm just saying, like, it's none of that should have happened, like, honestly. And then from what I understand, and maybe I misinterpreted, but they watched her get the damn crowbar and the gun out the damn car.
Yeah, I guess what it's saying in the articles that they saw her, because, okay, so it's not uncommon for her to retrieve her pistol from the car. The crowbar, what the fuck what's she bringing a crowbar in the house for? But it's not uncommon for her to remove her weapon from the car. Normally it is
in a normal situation, but everybody is heated.
Yeah. But she does. You never leave your gun in the car. You always take it inside the house with you.
Right. In this case, it was safer to be in the car.
Well, yeah, but still, and she put it in her pocket and walked back in the house. Again, in her defense, she told the police that he threatened, "I'm going in the house to get my ass whooped. If he whoops my ass and I shoot him."
For the police to say, "Sir, you need to leave."
Well, again, they already know whose house that is. If they ran the information, they would know that she's the only person on the lease. Once they ran it, he will not come up. See, that's the thing, though. Like, if people don't do change of addresses and things like that, and the police run you, and you don't stay at that address, they're gonna make you leave. Well, sir, you're not registered to live here.
Especially with that going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this could have been prevented.
Mm-hmm. I agree, Fon. I
totally agree. Just like in a lot of domestic violence situations, a lot of that stuff could have been prevented. Especially if the law was called in on it. And y'all just shrug your shoulders. "Oh, well, I didn't see anything. Just calm down. Everybody just calm down." Okay, well.
That's her best defense, though, is that the police did nothing.
And they didn't.
But that's her best defense. That's her best scenario right there. Well, the police did nothing. They didn't protect me. I had to protect myself. I had to worry about my children. After he was done whooping my ass, he's going down there to whoop my children's ass too. That's the first thing I'd have said when they came to arrest me.
Mm-hmm.
When he was done with me, he was going to turn the shit on my children. Not happening. Now he's dead.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, listen. Tomorrow should be interesting. Listen. I'm not. Tomorrow is supposed to be the day for the True Daily Crimes channel, but actually I'm gonna come back on this channel tomorrow so we can get caught up.
Yeah, Juicy Kim, I agree. Yep, that's what we talking about exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I'm actually gonna skip a day on the other channel since now we're able to be monetized. I still haven't put in my thing, y'all. I still haven't done it, but I'm gonna do it. But anywho, we're gonna come back tomorrow on this channel and cover day 1 of testimony. Hopefully get into day 2, but I'm gonna be on this channel until I get caught up, which means tomorrow, which is what, Thursday? Is tomorrow Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. So I'll be on this channel Thursday, Friday, and maybe even Saturday. Okay, so we can get caught up, all right? So with that being said, we're gonna get off of here. I do have to come back later on my T channel. So I'm gonna get off of here. And my kitties, my grannies, my grandbabies, my crumb snatchers are about to get out of school. So gotta spend some time with them. So I love y'all. Thank you, Fawn, for coming up today. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, D-True. Always, always, always. D-True, don't forget about your homework. We need to know about that history.
All right, I'll try to find them.
I appreciate it. And shout out to Trey, who did nothing today. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He's laying pipe.
He probably still tired. He tired. But yeah.
Well, Baby Petty got him tied up.
Yeah, Baby Petty got him. So shout out to y'all for supporting this channel. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to my moderators, my the subscribers. Thank y'all so much for supporting this channel. I appreciate y'all so much. I think y'all this is gonna be a good one. What you think, Fun? And y'all know Fun told me she was upset with me. I'm gonna snitch on you, Fun. And
Oh,
because
God.
I love you. She was upset with me, y'all, because I didn't finish off the murder trial. So I gotta make it up to Fun. I gotta make it up to her. So what you think about this with Fun? It's gonna be good.
I'm very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah. So thank you, D-True, for all your help. Now that you know what's going on, I'm pretty sure tomorrow you'll come back with a whole lot of. I appreciate it. Shout out to y'all, True Sippers, State Gang, for showing up and showing out. And I'll see y'all later on. D-True, you know when you going live again?
Yeah, I'm preparing that now. I may go tomorrow afternoon or I may go tomorrow night.
Great. Looking forward to it. All right, y'all. All right, mods, if you would, on our way out, as the outro plays, please drop the links of our family members that we support. Drop those links, and for anybody that's watching the replay, please support those links if you don't mind. Like
I'm interested to see how good of a lawyer this Michael Sterling is.
I think from just hearing his opening statements, I think he's great. I didn't see nothing else but them opening statements. I think he's great. And when he said he gonna beat her ass on fruit, I was caught.
I'm like, what does that even mean?
That mean, child.
It's a gang reference.
It is a gang reference, and it's something. It's like, let me tell you what it's like. It's like saying I'm gonna beat your ass on my mama, and your mama has passed away. That's how serious it is for those people.
Hey, anybody know who Deborah Percy is?
No, who is that?
She just cussed me out for talking about CMA's dead mama.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean,
so I replied to her and said, F is dead mama.
Oh, God. You know what? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Okay, y'all, we out of here. You just acting out. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe, be blessed, never stressed. Okay. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow on this channel, and I'll see y'all later today on the T channel. With that being said, True Super State Gang, stand up. We're out of here. Love you, Fawn. Thank you, D True. Love you. Love y'all.
Love y'all. Bye.
Access my regular. I'm talking access for better. Oh, access for better. Oh, way better. is my regular. I'm talking takes me better. It's my regular. I'm talking takes me better. Takes me better. Way better. It's my regular. I'm talking takes me better. Takes me It's my regular. I'm talking takes me better. Takes me better. Way better. It's my regular. I'm talking takes me better. It's my regular. I'm talking takes me better. Takes me better. Way better. It's my regular. I'm talking takes me better. Takes me This is my regular. I'm talking